I saw that there were other YouTube videos showing how to build an accordion, but they were not quite what I wanted, so I decided to make this. This good looking accordion uses Zero JavaScript, which has more performance. It is also accessible, it has this smooth animation, and it can use any custom icon that you like. So, without further ado, let's build it. So let's start by adding the basic HTML structure. For this, we are going to use the details tag in the HTML. There is two parts in our accordion. The first one is our title and the other one is our content. Our title is going to be in the inside of the summary tag. And our content goes below the summary tag, and I'm going to wrap it around the div. If you go to your browser, you can already see it's starting to look like an accordion. But there's a little issue with the width. You can easily fix this issue by setting a width to your details tag. Before we style our accordions, I want to add few more things in our HTML. First of all, I'm going to add a font called Inter from the Google Fonts. Then I'm going to wrap my current accordion with another div with the ID of accordions. Now I'm going to add some classes to our accordion. Now I'm going to add a new class to our details tag called accordion and another class to our heading and our content. Now I'm going to duplicate our accordion. Now I'm going to change my current titles with more meaningful ones. Okay, now let's move on to our style.css. I am going to remove some of the styling from the past and leave the body styles as it is. I'm going to start by adding the font family to our body, then a linear gradient background, and I'm going to select our wrapper. I'm going to set a display of flex, a gap, and flex direction column, max width of 500 pixel and width of 100%. Okay, now let's move on to styling our individual accordions. For that, I'm going to select the accordion class and set a background of white and a border radius of 2.5 mm. Now if you go ahead and click your accordions continuously, you can see there's some text selection going on. We don't want that. To disable it, you can define user select as none, and now you don't see that effect anymore. Now move on to our accordion title. We're going to select the accordion summary. First, we are going to remove that default arrow that shows in our accordion because we are going to use a custom icon. We're going to set the list style to none, and you can see immediately that default arrow is gone. But sometimes that does not work for the Safari. For that, we have to select our heading with a special pseudo selector called WebKit Details Marker. Inside of that, you can set display as none and you're good to go. Now I'm going to style my heading inside of the title. I'm going to set the margin 0 to remove that extra spacing and the font size to 1.12 for rem and the font weight to 500. I'm going to go back to our title and I'm going to set the display as flex. Justify content as space between and align items as center. I'm also going to add a padding and set the cursor as pointer so you can see this hand icon when you hover over your accordions. Before we move on, I want to show you something. For that, let's go back to our HTML file for a moment. And here's our code for one of our accordion. And if we add a new attribute called open to this, you can see it's gonna change its default behavior from staying it closed to open. Now even if you refresh the page, it's gonna keep staying open. And this is what exactly also happened in the inside of your browser when you open and close one of your accordions. Whenever you clicked on your accordion, and the browser gonna go to that details tag and add an attribute called open. Whenever you click on that accordion again, the browser gonna go to the details tag and remove that attribute from that accordion. And that's how it basically works. Okay, now let's go back to our style.css. Now let's style our accordion content, which we can select by accordion.accordion body. I'm gonna set a padding of 1 in and I'm gonna set the text color to this grayish color and add more line height. I'm also going to add this border top to separate things properly. Now that we have our accordion working, and let's add a custom icon to it. For that, we need to select the title of our accordion, which where our user clicks to open and close our accordion, and the icon will be right here. We're going to select the accordion summary with the pseudo selector code after, and we're going to define the content property with empty string, so that will force our browser to render this element. Now I'm going to set a width and a height. Now I'm going to add a property called background image. For this, I'm going to use a SVG as my icon, and I have already added that SVG file into my project, as you can see right here. I'm going to link that SVG here with a URL property, and I'm going to set the background size as content and the background repeat as no repeat. Now let's add our animations to this. So I want my accordion's custom icon to rotate and point down with a smooth transition when I click to open it, and vice versa. For that, we are going to select our custom icon when the accordion is open, and we are going to set a transform property of with rotate. Now as you can see, our icon rotates, but it's not smooth as we want. To fix it, you will need to go ahead to your icon and set a transition. Now if you go and look at it, and it has this smooth transition. Okay, now let's add our smooth animation to our accordion's content as well. For that, I'm going to select the accordion's content with this special pseudo selector called details content, and I'm going to select the same accordion's content when the accordion is open, so we can easily transition between those two states. Now I'm going to set a height of 0 to how it looks when our accordion is closed, and I'm going to set the height of auto how it looks when our accordion is open, and I'm also going to set the overflow as hidden, and I'm going to add a transition to our height and content visibility properties. But our animation will still not be working. That's because we want to set the transition behavior as allow discrete, and we also have to set the starting style as height of 0. In case you want to learn more about this starting style tag, you can watch this short clip from the links in the description. Basically, what this starting style tag does is it will let you define how the element need to look when it appears on the browser for the first time, so we can transition from that state to our normal class styles. Like in here, we can easily transition from height 0 to height auto. In order to work this, we have to set the interpolate size as allow keywords in our HTML tag. So now if you go to your browser and see, now our animation is working smoothly. Currently, all of our accordions can be open at the same time. But let's say you want to keep only open one accordion at a time. In that case, you can set an attribute called name with the same value to all of your accordions. Now only one accordion will stay open at a time. So that's it. Here's our beautiful and user-friendly accordion with no JavaScript plus smooth performance and accessibility. So all of the links will be in the description, including the source code we wrote here. You can subscribe if you want. Well, I can't force you to do that. So, Teruvan Sarane.